We're live once again. Good evening, folks. Welcome to Friday Night Tech Talk. I'm Mobile Geezer. And if you're on my YouTube channel, you already know that. But we also simulcast at the same time on both of my Facebook IDs. So you can go on Facebook, you can go to Mobile Geezer, or you can go to George Hayes, and you'll see the simulcast there also. If you're new here, we do this every Friday night at this time. I take some articles from tech between last week and this week, and I try to find what I think is interesting to us tech heads. And I also try to find articles that you may not have seen everywhere. But I also try to keep up with whatever's the hot presentation of the week. So try to split that. There wasn't any big presentation this week, but there was an Apple. So we'll go over that. And like I said, if you're new here, please type something in the comments and let us know you're here. Let us know where you're from. And please make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and come back and see us every Friday night. Sometimes I'm joined by Ted, who comes in and adds his wisdom to the show. And if not, it's a much quicker show if I'm by myself. And occasionally, by some miracle, I get joined by Mike and or Will, who was the original two guys that I started this show with five and a half years ago, something like that. But if it's just me, it'll be a fairly quick show. So as I do every week, I will show you my webpage and show you the show notes for tonight's show. So let's share screen here. And if you go to mobilegeezer.wordpress.com, if you click on today's date, you'll get just the show notes for tonight. And as I do every week, I'll give you guys a little preview of the stories we're going to go over tonight. So last week we found out that we will not be getting a OnePlus Open 2 folding phone this year, and everybody was patiently waiting for it. As most of you know, I have the OnePlus Open, the original OnePlus Open, and I love that phone. And I picked it as my phone of the year at the end of 2023. And practically everybody that I know, online or otherwise, that has it, just loves that phone to death. I haven't had the Samsung Galaxy big folding phones or the Google Pixel Fold, but everybody else seems to think it's still the best folding phone, the OnePlus Open. So, like I said, we found out last week we won't be getting the OnePlus Open 2, but Phone Arena lady wrote why she thinks it was a bad idea not to release it. So we'll go over that first. And as usual, I try to say what I think is the hot story of the week for the second story to let people have time to come in. And of course, this week it was the iPhone 16e. I said iPhone 16e, the costly budget entry into the iPhone family. And we've got Will in here. Timeout. Are you there, sir?
Hey, what's up, George?
Glad to have you.
What's going on?
Okay, you listening?
Yeah, I can't read, but I'm listening. I can hear you.
You're at work, I assume, or not?
No, I'm not working. Don't talk about work.
I'm sorry, I withdraw the question. I'm so glad you're here. Anyway, I was just going over the previews for tonight's show. So I said the big thing to me was the iPhone 16e, which I guess replaces the SE. And I just said the costly budget entry into the iPhone family. A guy from Phone Arena has a lot to say about it, so I took his article and we'll go over that. Next, Broadcom and TSMC may acquire parts of Intel. So I said, RIP Intel. I found that story on Tom's Hardware. And we all know that, I think most of us know, that Intel has been in a lot of trouble the last couple of years, but it's looking more and more like they may just go out of business. So we'll go over that story. And this is one of those stories that I say I try to find that tech heads like us may like and you won't see everywhere. After that, found a nice article by Jerry Hildenbrand, who always writes great articles from Android Central. I just said, what does 7 years of updates really mean? And he wrote a good article about it, proving his point about Samsung kind of not meaning what they say. So very good article. After that, I just found this one interesting. It's tech, but it's baseball. And I don't even follow baseball anymore. I grew up a Dodgers fan. Yes, I'm that old. I was a Brooklyn Dodgers fan when they were in Brooklyn. And then, of course, when they went to California, I became a Met fan for years. But I haven't followed baseball in, I don't know, 30, 40 years. I'm a big racing junkie
George,
now. Yes, sir.
I didn't even know Jerry was still around because the podcast fell off. You know, like they don't. There's nothing. Like it just ended with no word, no warning, no. So I thought he was gone too.
Who are you talking about?
Jerry.
Oh no,
Hildenbrand.
Jerry's still there, but no podcast. You don't hear him anymore. And I think he was
Yeah,
the
that's what I
main
mean. I just
reason.
thought that the whole website was just, I don't even go there no more because what
No,
happened to it?
it's still there, and they're still writing stories, and he's still writing stories. But yeah, I don't know
Like
what happened with the podcast.
they never addressed it. Like how it ended. Like it was just,
Well,
you know.
remember that's what they did. What, a year and a half ago? It stopped for like 6 months, and we thought it was gone. Then they suddenly came back. Remember?
Yeah, I guess that's just crazy.
And for those of you who don't know, my very first mobile conference that I went to back in, I think it was 2015, and I met Jerry Hildenbrand. They're great guy, very knowledgeable guy, and extremely nice. So I can attest to he's as nice as he is smart. So anyway, back to my little preview. Robot empires in Major League Baseball. I said, yes, it's real. I found the story on NBC Sports. Turns out it's the longest article I have, but we'll probably skip to different parts of it. I just think it's interesting that, yeah, the robots are going to be looking over the umpire's shoulders for now. And my last story for tonight, a lot of people I think are excited. Nothing Phone 3A coming March 4th with 2 models. So I found that on Phone Arena, and everybody's kind of excited about that. Am I sure I'm going to get the 3A? I'm not positive, but I'm leaning more and more that way. I have the Nothing Phone 2, which I love dearly. That's in my weekly rotation. And so let me stop screen for a second, and I usually try to remember to let you guys know which phones I took to work today. So today I had the Pixel 9 Pro, and I had my old Moto G Power 2023. That's still in my weekly rotation also. So those are the 2 phones. Yesterday I had the Pixel 9 Pro and my iPhone. And you guys pretty much know I go by whatever watch I'm wearing. Today I'm wearing the Pixel Watch 3. And I didn't get a story about it, but the OnePlus Watch 3 came out this week. And boy, the articles I'm seeing about it sounds like it's going to be the best of all the Android Wear watches. Have you seen any videos about it, Will? You still there? I don't know if we lost him. He's not muted. Maybe he went out of the room. Well, hopefully Will let us know when he's back. So those are the stories we're going to go over tonight. Eleanor was the first one, and so far the only one that's typed something in to say hello. So glad she's here, as always, very faithful. So if there's nothing further, I guess I'll start our stories and let Will come in and we'll discuss as he comes in. So back to the first story. So share screen again. And I just said this writer thinks canceling the OnePlus Open 2 was a bad decision. I'm with her. This was on Phone Arena. So I hope when Will comes back in. Wait a minute. Okay. I hope when Will comes back in, he'll let me know he's there because he'll read some of these stories also. But I will start with this one. So it was on Phone Arena. It was from yesterday. Hey, OnePlus, canceling the OnePlus Open 2 was a big mistake. And it's by Marianne Slavov. I totally agree with what she's saying here. So we're going to read a view. Okay. She says, let's start with this one preface. Let's start this one with a preface. The OnePlus Open won our best big foldable phone award in 2023. It won my best phone of the year awards in 2023. It came on top of other foldables such as the Galaxy Z Fold 5 and the Pixel Fold. That's how good this model was, and still is, I'd say. Needless to say, we and all of the tech community were pretty excited about the successor, the OnePlus Open 2. That's an understatement. Even when news broke that the model could be delayed until 2025 and not launched in a one-year window after the first one, we waited patiently. Yes, we did. Most of you know by now that we won't get a new OnePlus Foldable in 2025. The OnePlus Open product manager, Vale G, shared the news in a forum post saying, we carefully considered the timing and our next steps in foldable devices, and we have made the decision not to release a foldable this year. Now, I think that's a massive mistake, and here's why. Failing to capitalize on the hype. There's a huge missed opportunity here, especially after the strong initial reception of the original OnePlus Open. The first foldable of the company was praised for its lightweight design, versatile camera system, even by today's foldable standards, and decent performance. It was a great package. Yeah, the cameras were considered by most people as the best cameras on any foldable. Sometimes you drop this into Reader View and you lose part of it. Let me see if I drop it out. I thought there was more to the story than that. No, that was all it was. So anyway, I totally agree with her. They did not capitalize on the hype, and most of us who have, well, all of us, as far as I know, who have this phone just love it to death. So whenever they ever decide to come up with another one, we'll be looking for it. Now, the Oppo N5, which is their sister company, did come out with that, and it looks like they're releasing the worldwide version of that, I guess, yesterday. And but they're not releasing it in the United States, as far as I know. And I did see a video that said they're not releasing it in the UK either. So they have a global version, but not for the UK or America. So going to, and Will is no longer with us. Hopefully he'll have time to come back in there. Will's got little kids, so he's probably busy, and he works very long days. I know that. So, all right, on to what I consider the big story of the week. I would have let Will read this one because if any of you don't know, Will is our big iPhone fanatic. So he drinks the apple juice all the time. So iPhone 16e, I said the costly budget entry into the iPhone family. Pardon me. And this was on Phone Arena. And this is also from yesterday. After iPhone 16e launch, Apple is firmly a rich people brand by Anam Hamid. He's a good writer for them. So let's drop it into reader view. Remember when Apple tried to fit in by releasing the iPhone SE? Well, it's done pretending. The company has scrapped the iPhone SE, which started at $429 and still is, by the way, or still was up until the time 16 came out 2 days ago, and replaced it with the $599 iPhone 16e. So we all thought that they would have raised the price from $429 and for the new one would be $499, but no, they went all the way to $599. The cost of entry into the iOS ecosystem is now $599. Pay up or suck it up. Come for the premium image, stay because of iOS. So yeah, it's an image thing with a lot of people. Apple would like you to believe that the iPhone 16e is part, get that, would like you to believe, is part of the iPhone 16 family, but at most, it's an adopted member. Despite the almost premium price tag, the phone doesn't have premium specs. He was pretty disappointed. A lot of people are. You're getting a lot of split opinions about that all over the YouTube. Apple's latest model sports a notch, which has been abandoned by its flagship phones. It has a lone 48 megapixel rear camera. A lot of people didn't like that, and doesn't get the new camera control button. The phone sports an inferior version of the A18 chip, as well as an in-house modem that neither supports Wi-Fi 7 nor mmWave 5G. That's pretty bad. I didn't realize it didn't have the 5G. The iPhone 16e also doesn't support MagSafe wireless charging. The value proposition is even worse if you live outside of the US, as iPhones tend to be more expensive in other countries due to taxes and duties. Let's see. Why do I keep thinking these are getting cut off? I'm used to picking longer articles, I guess, but no, that was the whole article. So he was pretty upset with the iPhone 16e. Doesn't sound like he's going to be getting it at all. And Will is back. Will, I see two of you. All right, I'm adding you here. Are you there? Okay, I'm going to remove you there and add your other one.
George,
There you are. Okay, now I hear you.
I don't know that the AirPods don't be connecting or something.
Okay. Oh, well, I'm glad you got your back. Now, were you listening while I got that when I did that iPhone 16e article just now?
No, I was trying to get back in, but I
Oh,
kind of know most of it. What do you think of it, George? You think it's? I think it's overpriced.
yeah, and this guy thinks so too. Let me jump back into it just for a second. And yeah, his general opinion was the first thing he said was, uh, at the iPhone 16 launch, Apple is firmly a rich people brand. So that's his overall opinion. So he's very upset about it. Uh, he says he'd like you to believe that the iPhone 16 is part of the iPhone 60, but at most it's an adopted member. So he's not thinking, oh, we got Ted too. All right, got two of you guys.
Uh-oh.
I
What's going
cannot
on,
hear a
Ted?
thing. What the heck? Give me a
Ted is
second.
Uh-oh.
letting us see his face tonight. See, Will, you should do that too.
Yeah.
Ted, you with
Ted, what's
us?
going on?
I don't think Ted can hear us. Ted's
So what
having
did
a.
you
Hold on.
say, George? The iPhone is a rich person's brand.
He said it's a rich person's phone. You know,
Hmm.
because we thought it was going to go 429 up to 499. No, they went all the way to 599. So, like you, and I agree, he thinks it's overpriced.
I
You know,
swear it's a new thing every time with StreamYard now. Or maybe
Ted,
it's a
Ted, we
scam
can
on
hear
them.
you. Can you hear us?
Yep, I can hear you guys now.
So it's
Okay.
but it's like an iPhone, what, 13 body or something?
No, 14. iPhone 14 body.
But because it doesn't have dynamic island, right? It just has the notch.
No, it has the notch.
Okay. So there's no more button here.
Yeah, and no camera control button. And he said it sports an inferior version of the A18 chip. I didn't realize it was an inferior version.
I
And
thought it
it
was the
does-
same chip that, you know.
but according to him, it's an inferior A18. And I
A
knew
lower bend?
they had a new modem of their own, and he said it doesn't support Wi-Fi 7 nor mmWave 5G.
How
So
does he
he's-
know it? They know it's a lower bend model.
These people do this for a living, so I guess they have ways of finding out. So he was very disappointed in it. I'm just trying to see if there's anything I missed letting you know. Yes, and he didn't like the fact, and a lot of people are commenting they don't like the just the 148 megapixel real camera.
Yeah.
And who's the Tech Radar said, they're calling it some kind of dual camera. He says, no, it's just a plain camera,
Yeah. Apple,
did he
I
know
don't know.
it's a
The price for it to get a decent amount of storage is ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
It's just
the
over.
price to get, that's the problem to me.
I
But,
agree.
it's Apple.
Yeah, it is. And they should have released this at $499. They wouldn't have got
Apple,
back
though.
a whole lot of heat despite the other issues.
People will buy it because it'll be cheap with the carriers. They'll be giving it away for free.
That's true. Yeah, and that's what Tech Odyssey said too. He said they'll be giving it away like crazy.
Yeah, the carrier will have it for
Yep.
just to join Boost or whoever it'll be.
Like they'll give it away for free or they'll give it at a severe discount.
I think they'll give it for free. They're gonna be like, if you join for 2 years, 3 years, there's no
Exactly.
Yeah, open 3 lines and you'll get one for free.
yeah, open open 3.
And that's what Tech Odyssey said. He said they'll give it for free, but you won't find anybody giving discounts. He said you won't find anybody giving discounts on an iPhone, period.
Yeah, no. Well, Apple's not gonna give no discount.
Exactly. So Ted, what did you think of it? Did you have any opinions of it?
I didn't really watch. I haven't been watching.
Okay.
It's been a whole year since I've been on Apple products, but
So as you can tell, folks, we have a diehard iPhone user, then we have a diehard Android user, and then there's me who does everything.
Yeah, George,
but,
you
I do
got
just say
$17.
$6.99 for a single having sensor phone is
It's $5.99, but yeah, that's too much
oh
money.
$5.99. Okay.
It's $5.99.
It's still too expensive. Like you said, it should have been $4.
Yeah, because they went from $4.29 all the way up to $5.99. That's the big problem.
And there's
But
no
it's more than was it $170 more.
It's 60 hertz, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
It's,
how small is it though?
I think it's 6.1.
It's 6.1, just like the iPhone 16, and that's what somebody else said
Not that
in
small.
one of the other videos I watched. That you can forget about having a small phone from now. I think it was Tech Odyssey that said that. He said the small phones are gone now.
So 750.
Yeah, but 6.1 isn't bad because what's the 9 Pro? What is that? 6 point what?
It's also 6.1, I think.
Oh, that's a good size then.
Yeah, but people, remember they were coming from what was what was it before 4 point something?
Yeah, 4.7.
Okay.
But that's too small now because your battery would be dead in 2 seconds. I think
But-
that's the thing.
but-
If this battery life is good, it wouldn't, that size. I like the size.
I saw an article. I didn't get a chance to look at it, but the title of the article said the best thing about the 16E is not blah blah blah. It's the battery life. So I gather the battery life is very, very good.
Yeah.
And it's got a normal display.
Ted, you're going all fuzzy. You.
I thought that was me. I was like, am I?
No, that's not you. That's Ted. Your mic is it's gotten to the point where you're talking and we can't even understand it now. It's that fuzzy.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you sound like an old TV. Somebody's got
Or
to turn the other knob.
you might
Somebody's
say he
got
sounds like an old geezer.
somebody's
Ooh.
got to turn the other knob on your TV, Ted, and move the rabbit ears around.
Say something, Ted. Are you addressing anything?
Yeah. Let me just...
No, it's terrible. It's really bad.
Ted sounds like you in the you in the trenches.
This is what you get, Ted, from hanging around with an 80-year-old.
Oh God.
Are you changing mics or anything, or? No, I'm not sure he can hear us. All right, should I move on to the next story?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, now you talk some more. You sound good.
Yeah, yes. I
Okay.
unplug stuff. Unplug
Now
it
you
back in.
sound good. All right, we're going to the next story. All right, this is the Intel story. Broadcom and TSMC may acquire parts
Actually,
of
on the
Intel.
iPhone 16, I can see on the battery life thing on Apple's website, they only compare it up to the iPhone 12.
Really?
Yeah, compare battery life across the iPhone family. It's like compare with iPhone 11 up to 26 hours, 17 hours playback.
Okay.
iPhone 12, same amount. Like,
Well, the
You know
iPhone
what
12 was
though?
their last really great battery, wasn't it?
I thought so. Listen, I was about to say. I think for me, the 11 Pro, whatever one I had, was better than the 12. To me, the 12 was terrible.
well, the 12, all the 12 sucked because that was
To
when they
me,
first started with 5G.
that
Okay.
12 battery life was awful to me.
Yeah, see, I don't remember the battery life, but I do agree with you. I think my iPhone 11 was better than my iPhone 12. Yeah.
Yeah. At this point, I don't even know what 5G is doing. Like
Yeah.
nobody even talks about it no more.
No, they don't. You'll see an occasional article about 6G, but that's still a long ways out.
Listen, they
Okay.
didn't even get 5G right yet.
I see what they meant with it's an A18 with only a 4-core GPU, whereas the iPhone 16 has a A18 with a 5-core GPU. That's how they know it's inferior.
Yeah, but are you gonna notice that day to day?
I mean, all the GPU stuff only matters when you're gaming, so maybe.
Apple needs to put out a foldable or something.
Well, you're only going to notice the difference in cores when you're doing like heavy gaming or something. Am I right?
And also with
Yeah.
all this, AI, Apple Intelligence stuff, generating stuff, it would make a
Oh,
difference.
yeah. And I forgot to tell you guys, I didn't catch it until today, so I don't have it as part of tonight's story. But they did release the beta version of the iOS 18.1.4 today. And I don't have my iPhone with me today, but everybody was expecting, okay, now we're going to get the Siri. No, he said it's completely missing still. So I heard somebody else say, I saw somebody else said that now they're talking about pushing the Siri upgrade out to 0.5. So it's still a big disappointment, the whole Apple Intelligence thing.
Yeah. I'm looking
Ted,
at the
you're
refurbished.
reading their website, right?
Yeah, on Apple's website. I'm looking at the refurbished phones, and iPhone is selling an iPhone 14, 128 gigs, for $529.
Okay. Oh, you know what? I forgot to put my earbuds in.
That is.
I'm listening through the speaker, and I shouldn't be. Let's see how my earbuds do. Somebody say something so I can see if my earbuds are working yet.
I would rather just get an iPad
Okay.
mini.
Wait, let me hook up these earbuds. Sorry about that, folks. Where are you? No, I'm not seeing it. Interesting.
Oh, where's Will?
Give me a second here. Trying to get the same earbuds I use every week working, and all of a sudden I'm not finding them on the list. Oh, wait a minute. Now I should see them. Yep. Okay, here we go. Okay, now I'm good. Sorry about that. All right. Anybody else got anything else to say about the iPhone 16e? Think we lost Will again.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go to the next story. Ted, you're going to read this one?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, you just got fuzzy again. You don't know what's causing that?
No.
Oh, now it's worse again.
It's fuzzy?
It's very, very fuzzy. And when you're ready, say something so I'll know. We're going to the backup mic. Okay, that's a good thing. Are you plugged in yet? I'm not hearing you. Say something. Say a sentence.
All right, how am I?
Okay, a little bit louder if you can.
When I switch it to the mic, it gets rid of the. I don't know what's happening.
Okay, well, just put the mic a little closer to you. That's all.
All right, output.
Okay. Keep talking.
Where does this thing get the nerve? It doesn't. I don't know if it's StreamYard or just a Mac. Hold on, I'm gonna.
You sound fine
try
now.
on
You
Chrome.
just need to be a tiny bit louder, I think. Oh, he disappeared on us. Will's not back yet, as far as I can tell. Let me see. Will, are you on this one? No, I don't think you're on this one. So Will is gone also. All right, folks, I guess I'm going to go ahead with the next story, and hopefully Ted will be back with us in a minute. I hope. When I don't have the issues, Ted has the issues, or I have the issues. I don't know if any of you are old enough to remember the original Saturday Night Live, but Rosanna Dana always said, "It's just like my daddy always said, it's always something." That was the thing that popped into my head. Okay, you got to be old to know this stuff. All right. This article is from Tom's Hardware, and I just thought it was interesting because Intel has been around like forever, and it sounds like they may not be so much longer. TSMC and Broadcom explored deals to split Intel's foundry and chip design wings, says report. And that's by Kunal Kular, I think that's how you say it. And it was from 5 days ago. Broadcom is interested in chip design and marketing segments, while TSMC, and that's the biggest chip maker in the world, is considering taking over its fabrication plants. So let me drop it into reader view. Yeah. Intel is facing potential acquisition bids from TSMC and Broadcom, according to the sources cited by the Wall Street Journal. The two major companies are exploring deals that could effectively split Intel's operations, with Broadcom reportedly eyeing Intel's chip design and marketing divisions, while TSMC is assessing the possibility of taking over its chip manufacturing plants. Broadcom has engaged in informal discussions with advisors about a potential bid, though it's likely to proceed only if it secures a partner to handle Intel's manufacturing segment. This approach aligns with Broadcom's ongoing strategy of expanding its business through targeted acquisitions. Meanwhile, TSMC pardon me, the world's largest contract chip maker is reportedly considering forming an investing consortium to acquire Intel's fabrication plants. Those plants are very, very expensive, which would further strengthen its position in the global semiconductor market. All discussions remain preliminary and no formal offers have been made. Intel has been struggling to regain its foothold in chip manufacturing amid increasing competition from TSMC and others. Pat Gelsinger, the company's previous CEO, was ousted in December after a series of setbacks. Yeah, there was a bunch, including delays in manufacturing plans, a decline in AI chip market share, and the reliance on government subsidies to fund factory expansions. Yeah, they kept falling further and further behind everybody else. Intel's financial struggles include $7 billion in losses from its chip-making segment in 2023 and the 60% decline in share price. Yeah, they've really gone down in the stock market, have made it an acquisition target. Makes perfect sense. Any potential deal faces a major roadblock, however, U.S. government opposition. The Trump administration has voiced strong concerns over the possibility of a foreign company operating Intel's US-based chip fabs. A White House official recently stated that while foreign investment is generally encouraged, Intel's domestic manufacturing capabilities are seen as strategically important, making it unlikely that a takeover by TSMC would receive government approval. So they probably have to partner with somebody. Hope you guys can't hear. There's a dog next door barking. If you can hear it, I hope it's not bothering you. This stance complicates any potential deal, especially as the U.S. government has been actively subsidizing domestic semiconductor production to reduce reliance on foreign chip makers. If Broadcom and TSMC move forward with their plans, they may need to navigate regulatory hurdles and find domestic partners to satisfy national security concerns. A breakup of Intel would mark a shift towards specialization, with companies focusing on either chip design or manufacturing. Whether these acquisition talks gain momentum or stall due to political and economic factors remains to be seen. So I just thought what makes it a big story is that it's Intel and they may go out of business. So I just thought I should definitely include that story in there, and you're probably not going to hear that every place else. And no Will has come back and no Ted has come back. Now, I do know the last two times that Ted was on, we had some issues with his microphone also. And there's Alan. Hey, Alan, glad you stopped by. Very happy, always happy when you do come by. Thanks. All right, so unless I see Ted or Will come back, I will continue on. So my next story, this was the story that Jerry Hildebrand did on Android Central a week ago. We'll see in a minute. I just said, what does 7 years of updates really mean? So let's go over to Android Central, and this is from, February 15th, so 6 days ago. Good article, which that's pretty much all Jerry writes. 7 years of updates aren't what you think they are, and Samsung just proved it. Hardware is forever, of course, by Jerry Hildebrand. Let me drop into reader view. And this may explain to Mike and some others have been questioning why haven't we seen the latest version from Samsung of One UI 7. Well, this article kind of, I think, clears some of it up. So, all right, Ted is back. You're back.
Yeah.
You sound good now.
Yep. Google Chrome.
Okay, very good. All right, I'm about to do the article that Jerry Hildebrand wrote. You want to do it?
Yep, I'll do it.
All right, go ahead. When you're ready, we're ready.
Google Chrome looks so different. Not the Google Chrome I remember.
Well, you got to read, not mumble.
All right, 7 years of updates aren't what you think they are, and Samsung just proved it. A Samsung executive vice president has pretty much confirmed that the Galaxy S24 will miss out on multiple One UI 7 features because they are designated as hardware aligned. Oh, you shouldn't be surprised about this. Disappointed, maybe, but not surprised. This highlights something most people aren't thinking about. A company can support a phone for 7 years, but it can't make newer features work on older hardware every time. 7 years of updates doesn't really mean what you think it means. Well, this is not a bad thing, even if it feels like a bad thing. Samsung explains that many of the AI features depend on what Samsung calls the personal data engine, and that engine isn't supported on older chips. It needs the Snapdragon 8 Elite in order to work properly. We'll see more of this agentic or thinking AI features are developed, and you should expect to see some features on the Galaxy S26 that will not come to the S25, and that's okay. You should not buy a phone because you expect something in the future. A phone should do everything it is advertised to do. Be mostly bug free and be supported to do those things as long as possible. Having 7 years of up support means your phone will probably outlast your battery. This isn't a Samsung thing. It's not even an Android thing. We're seeing the exact same thing from Google with the Pixel series, and there will be multiple features that can be used on older hardware. The iPhone is the same, with iOS features becoming more hardware dependent. Okay, this is all we don't even need to rely on hardware on this one. The camera examples are sufficient.
Exactly. But remember, iPhone's been, Apple keeps saying that the reason that they can't include some of the AI features is because some of the Android 15, some of the iPhone 15s won't handle it and the Pros will. So he's got a point.
Scrolling down.
Okay.
I love this. You might not, and we can disagree, but knowing that a phone I buy in 2025 will still be supported and performance expected in 2023 is excellent. I do not expect any new features, and the ones that are developed are a bonus. Hopefully, any new features work as they should. Get the latest. Phones are at a point where hardware is only a limiting factor when companies leverage those small incremental features they bring. Even more so when a company develops its own chip, either a full SoC package or custom co-processors that have a specific use. Apple is a great example. The A16 Bionic inside the iPhone 15 is as powerful as chip that powers a typical laptop. It should be able to handle anything iOS has to offer. It's limited to when it comes to AI because Apple dedicated parts of the newer chip to perform these functions. The Snapdragon or Tensor chip isn't nearly as powerful when it comes to raw processing, but they are more than a CPU, and parts of these chipsets are doing very specific things. These parts aren't just inside older phones. Forcing new features to work with inferior hardware would only make the features worse. Engineers love to develop new stuff and want everyone to use it, and phone makers love to lock new features behind the purchase of a new phone. But the reality is that sometimes there are real reasons why an older model can't do what it needs to do. What's really important is that the phone manufacturers are beginning to realize that we don't need to buy a phone every year or even every 2 years. Some of us don't want to. I doubt very many people will use the same phone for 7 years. Even I would upgrade before then, but knowing that you could is awesome. Now, we just need every phone maker to get on board and provide customer service as long as Samsung, Google, and Apple do, even if it means some of the new flashy stuff won't be included.
Okay, and that's really all there is to that. So he makes a good point, and I know Mike and a number of people, Tech Odyssey, another one, have been complaining that only the S25 has gotten One UI 7 and not the S24, and I think this might explain part of the reason. Of course, that Tech Odyssey thinks that Samsung's just trying to make you buy the newer phone. So maybe the hardware can't handle it. I'm not sure. So I just thought Jerry wrote a good article there, and it kind of might explain some of that why we're not seeing the One UI 7. So I'm going to go on to the next. I'm still watching for Will to come back in if he does. All right, I'm going to go to the next one. This is a long one. I just thought it was interesting because we had the tech in Major League Baseball. So I just said robot umpires in Major League Baseball. Yes, it's real. I found it on NBC Sports. Like I said, I'll jump around some because this is a really long article. Robot umpires are getting their first MLB test during spring training. This was also published yesterday. So let me go into reader view. Okay. Tampa, Florida. A computerized system that calls balls and strikes is being tested during Major League Baseball spring training exhibition games after 4 years of experiments in the minor leagues. Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred is an advocate of the automated ball strike system, which potentially as early as 2026 could be used to aid MLB home plate umpires, but not replace them. Yeah, I'm saying maybe in the beginning. But I'm thinking if they get this technology working right, it's got to be better than a human being. Just my opinion. But traditionalists, of course, would like their umpires, and I can understand that. Starting in 2024, MLB focused testing on a challenge system in which the human umpire makes each original call. Data from the spring training test could cause MLB to make alterations to the system for AAA games this season. How does the automated ball strike system work? Stadiums are outfitted with cameras that track each pitch and judge whether it crossed home plate within the strike zone. In early testing, umpires wore earbuds and would hear ball or strike, then relay that to players and fans with traditional hand signals. The challenge system adds a wrinkle. I can say where it would. During spring training, human umps will call every pitch, but each team will have the ability to challenge 2 calls per game with no additions for extra innings. A team retains its challenge if successful. That's like football. Similar to the regulations for big league teams with video reviews, which were first used for home run calls in August 2008 and widely expanded to many calls for the 2014 season. I had no idea. Only a batter, pitcher, or catcher may challenge a call, signaling with the tap of a helmet or cap, and assistance from the dugout is not allowed. A challenge must be made within 2 seconds, and the graphic of the pitch and strike zone will be shown on the scoreboard, that's good, and broadcast feed. The umpire then announces the updated count. MLB estimates the process averages 17 seconds, so that's good. Where will it be tested? MLB has installed the system in 13 spring training ballparks that are home to 19 teams. The Florida stadiums, all in the Florida State League, are in the stadiums Detroit, Minnesota, New York Mets, New York Yankees, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, and Toronto, plus the ballpark shared by Miami and St. Louis. I didn't know they shared a ballpark in spring training. 5 test sites in Arizona are also shared. Diamondbacks, Colorado, so they share one too. Chicago White Sox, Los Angeles, they share one. Dodgers, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Kansas City, Texas, and Seattle, San Diego. So, didn't know they all share these different parks. About 60% of spring training games are slated for trial, although teams could play vastly different numbers of games with ABS testing. The Diamondbacks are slated for 29 ABS games, while the Cubs have just 7. So here's the meat, I guess. What is the technology? A Hawkeye pose tracking system of cameras was installed and used to track pitches and whether they are within a strike zone based on the height of each batter. That's got to be the tough part. Who is measured without shoes before a team's test game. Well, so they're gonna, it's a lot of people to be covering. MLB estimated the calibration process at less than 1 minute for each player. Okay. There are 8 cameras at most of the spring training ballparks in the test and 12 at the Diamondbacks Rocky Stadium. While the strike zone actually called by big league umpires tends to be oval in shape, the ABS strike zone is a rectangle as in the rule book. Interesting. Developing a consensus on what a computer strike zone should be has been an issue. Yeah, I can see where that would happen. So I'm not going to read all of this. When did they first start? How successful? Okay, let's try this one. How successful were teams with challenges last year? Overall return rate over the full AAA season was 51%, with challenges by the defense winning 54% and by the offense winning 48%. Challenges with the two challenge limit in place averaged 3.9 per game. Not bad, I guess. They're always worried about how much time they're taking in baseball. I know that, including 2.2 by the offense. The success percentage has been slightly better for video reviews in the major leagues. Well, that's good. Teams increased their success rate on video reviews to 53.7 last season, led by the Boston Red Sox at 67.9%. That's very good. All right, so I'm not going to read all that. How has the computer strike zone changed over time? Not going to read all that either. So I just thought it was an interesting story. Now, this might be interesting. How will ABS impact broadcast? Concerned the strike zone box on broadcast could tip whether to challenge and cause fans to yell at players to challenge. MLB plans to experiment with several broadcast alternatives, among them show the box but not the ball, show the ball but not the box, and to show only corners of the box. And I can see that because if there are people in the stands watching on their phones or laptops or whatever, they might start yelling at them. So I can see that. So interesting auto overall. I just thought, this is the tech world, and we're going to have these robots calling balls and strikes. And in the beginning, I'm sure it'll be secondary to the umpires, but at some point, they're going to start thinking about replacing the umpires. That's my guess. But my guess is we'll have umpires for a good long time. I just thought that was an interesting story. All right, Ted, down to my last one. Nothing Phone 3A coming March 4th with 2 models. Yeah, and I might get one of these because I had the Nothing Phone 2. You going to take this one?
Yeah, I'll take it.
All right, when you're ready, let me know. We're on Phone Arena. We're dropping into Reader View now.
Okay. Okay. New Look reveals exciting news about the Nothing Phone 3A launch event. Cosmin Vasile. Nothing has already confirmed that it will introduce a new mid-range phone, the Phone 3A, on March 4th. The UK-based company recently released a teaser that offered us a peek at what's new inside the Phone 3A, but the juiciest information is likely to be unveiled during the event. However, a new leak reveals something very exciting about Nothing fans. Apparently, Nothing will launch not one but 2 new smartphones on March 4th. The vanilla Nothing Phone 3A will be accompanied by a Pro model, which will have a slightly better camera. While the news of being able to choose between 2 devices is certainly exciting for Nothing fans, it's disappointing that Phone 3A and Phone 3A Pro are basically the same phone with one minor exception, the camera. Rumor has it that both Nothing mid-range phones will be equipped with a Qualcomm Snapdragon 7S Gen 3 processors and a large 6.72-inch AMOLED display with 120 Hz refresh rate. Obviously, the similarities doesn't stop there, as both phones will be powered by a 5,000 milliamp hour battery and will feature IP64 certification for dust and water protection resistance. These are pretty standard specs for mid-range phones these days, but Nothing phones typically set themselves apart thanks to their design and UI. That said, let's talk a bit about the main difference between the Nothing Phone 3A and the Phone 3A Pro camera. Apparently, both phones will feature a 50-megapixel main and 8-megapixel ultra-wide camera. However, the third camera that Nothing added is better on the Phone 3A Pro. Nothing Phone 3A won't be the only device introduced on March 4th. Nothing Phone 3A is said to feature a 2x telephoto camera, whereas the Phone 3A Pro will use a much better 3x optical zoom telephoto with a Sony LYT600 sensor. It's a bit pretentious to put the Pro tag on a phone that's not really a meaningful improvement over the regular model, but let's wait for Nothing to reveal all the details since all the info comes from unverified sources. One last thing worth mentioning is that the Nothing Phone 3A is expected to cost 25,000 rupees or $290 in India, while the Phone 3A Pro will cost $345 or 30,000 rupees. Not bad.
Yeah.
If that's true, it's probably not worth paying more than $50 for a minor upgrade.
So I'm thinking seriously about getting. If I get it, I'll get the 3A Pro. I love my Nothing Phone 2, and I wanted to let you guys know, if you look out on X, formerly Twitter, if you type in Nothing Phone 3A, there are two videos there that are both about a minute and a half, and it really gives you a really, really good look at both phones. One for the 3A and one for the 3A Pro. But I think it's by the guy who was in charge of producing the phones. But go to X and type in Nothing Phone 3A. You should see both of those videos in there, and they do reveal everything front and back on both phones. So that's everything that I've got for today, folks. And I'm very glad that Ted came in. I'm glad that Will came in too for whatever time you want. Of course, I'm glad he got in to discuss the iPhone 16e. Of course, that's going to be his love. And it seems like we all kind of have the same opinion of the iPhone 16e, is that it just costs too much. And I think that's pretty much everybody's opinion. So, but I'm glad, Ted, you got your microphone straightened out and we got to hear you really well.
Yep. Now I got to figure out what's up with my camera.
So how's things going with the bicycle?
Bicycle's all right. Did
Okay.
I tell you the basket broke off though?
Oh, yeah, I think you told me that. Yeah.
The bracket broke off. So this just came in the mail. Got the replacement in. Ooh.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So probably take it to the bike shop or I'll do it myself.
Now, I'm going to say, you can do that yourself, I would think. I'm not sure.
The problem is the fenders. I have a real finicky fender.
Well, you're not a guitar player. You don't need a Fender. So everybody now knows that Ted is a basket case. Okay, I had to get that out. I'm glad it's been going good though. And the cameras, how the things with your cameras?
Hold on, I don't think I got all the parts. Sorry, I think I'm missing a part. I'm missing a part that broke off.
Are you sure you're missing it, or it's just you haven't gone through everything?
Also for the cameras, like the new the big camera, the fancy camera. I don't know. It's not performing like I'm happy with.
Well, you said that was the one that you'd have a much harder time learning, right?
Yeah, I just gave it an update like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Darn it.
You're really missing that part, huh?
Yes, the bracket. I need the bracket. But then
Well, if you let the bike shop install it, might they not just throw a bracket in for you?
maybe they'll have the bracket. I have to rely on that case.
Okay.
But that was the whole main thing of talking to the manufacturer to begin with.
Right. I understand.
Like, and they said they were going to include touch-up paint. There's no touch-up paint.
Well, I'm hoping that once we get off the air, you'll look through everything and start find them both, I hope.
There's not much in here. It's just the two things. Just these two things to hold the bike in place to connect it to the wheel.
Okay.
Oh, wait, hold on.
You got it.
This might be it.
Oh, there you go. That looks like a bracket.
It might be it.
Okay. Just a matter of looking through everything and being patient. That's all.
But yeah, I'll give this to the bike shop to tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Probably charge me $40 for the whole thing.
Okay, though.
Do it once, do it right, and only do have to do
It's
it
been
again.
so cold here. Let's see. I got out and rode Tuesday, and it was like low
Low
40s, but then I can just barely ride by the river in low 40s, just barely. But then, like this morning, it was 19 degrees. Tomorrow morning, it's going to be 19 degrees. But I think by 12 o'clock, it's going to get up to about 43. I can ride in 43 for a little bit. And, in this kind of weather, I'm not riding 17 or 18 miles. I'm riding about 12 or 13.
Still more than me.
Well, hopefully, I'll be able to ride sometime tomorrow and Sunday. So, but yeah, 19 degrees in the morning, that's tough. I can't deal with that.
Yeah, that's what I've been riding through in the morning. Like, 13 to 20 degrees.
And you're riding to work. You're a tough man.
Yeah.
Oh, man, look at Brian. Brian said, just made it. And the first thing he does is give me a donation. You're so awesome, sir.
Thanks, Brian.
Yeah, we got through all the stories. And the big thing this week, Brian, was that the Will was in here for a while. And Ted got in here, and he had a few mic problems, but he got him straightened out. And we all agreed that the iPhone 16e, which replaced the SE, is just too much money at $599.
In other words, overpriced, even by Apple
Exactly. So hopefully you'll get a chance to look through the stories, Brian, and I'm so glad you made it. I appreciate you so very much. And so tonight we had Eleanor in here. We had Alan from Phone Tech at work, and we got Brian. So doing good. So the other cameras working well for you?
The other cameras are working well-ish. But yeah, it's a bit
well-ish.
Well, the other one is having like a shutter problem, which I should have actually talked to Fujifilm about it, considering how much I paid for it. But so
Brian says, yeah, iPhone 6e is terrible.
But the main problem is this guy right here. Like, I don't know why. It shouldn't. The color of this shouldn't be looking like this.
Now which camera is that?
It's the fancy one.
Oh, okay. So that's what the one you're using. Okay. So is the color? Yeah, you seem to be kind of
grayed out.
Grayed out. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And I don't know why.
Okay. Well, this is from hanging around with old people. That's
this is yeah, it shouldn't be grayed out. It doesn't change the colors when I change it on the camera, so I have to figure out what's going on.
Okay.
But it's been a headache.
Yeah, I'm sure you have a manual, but what I always find, especially since this sounds like a really complicated camera, I always find it easier to go on YouTube, find me, not necessarily YouTube, go online, find me a manual that I can go through on screen, and that's much easier to me than going through a manual on paper.
I usually prefer paper manuals, but I don't think they give them anymore.
Oh, really? Okay. Now, see, the old guy prefers online, and the young guy prefers paper. You would have thought it would be the other way around, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Only one of us are getting what they want, though.
Hey, I'm just glad you got your bracket.
I think it's the bracket.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad you came in.
I think it's the. I'm not too sure because it's supposed to be like a U shape. The bracket is usually like a U.
Is it attached already, or can you take it off?
The bike shop can.
Yeah, I was going to say, let the bike shop handle it. Okay.
But they also are supposed to have touch-up paint because the bike scratched my thing.
Well, hopefully you'll let them know about that, and they'll just send that, I hope.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's been good.
Okay.
It's been good.
Good. I give you credit for riding to work in 13-degree weather. How far is your ride? I forgot.
It's 6 miles.
6 miles and 13 degrees is good, pretty good little test, I'd say.
Yeah, it's called to the attention the fact that my gloves suck.
Oh, yeah, that'll let you know right away.
I need better gloves.
Don't do what I did when I was younger and get frostbite, which I had twice. So
oof.
It's no fun, trust me. And the itch will drive you crazy. The itch is way worse than the pain.
Mm. Mm.
And the trouble with getting frostbite is the itch starts to get terrible. If you do this, like you're scratching,
Mm-hmm.
what happens is you're ripping your skin off. That's not fun. First time I got it was in '64 when I was in college in Ohio. I was hitchhiking. And the next time, once you get frostbite on whatever part of your body, you're susceptible there the rest of your life. So I got it in my hands and feet the first time, and got it in my hands the second time in '89. So I have a real good feel of when my hands are about to get frostbite, so I know how to avoid it. But
Well,
I would definitely say get some good gloves if you're going to ride in that kind of weather.
yeah. What gloves do you have?
Oh, I don't know. Now I don't pay any attention. I have gloves I use on my bicycle and my motorcycle. The free gloves you get when they send you calendars and stuff, and when they want you to send a donation to somebody. Those are the gloves I use on both my bicycle and my motorcycle. Now, of course, I don't ride my motorcycle unless it's in the 50s and bicycle in the 40s. So those gloves do me just fine.
Brian, like Rocky didn't go. You use a bicycle.
That's true, but he's giving you credit for being as tough as Rocky Balboa.
Thanks, Brian.
There you go.
Mm.
All right, so folks, glad you guys came in. Brian, thanks for getting here. Really happy. Alan, if you're still there, thanks for being there. And Eleanor, and anybody else who watched it didn't type something in, please come back next week. Hopefully, we'll have Ted again, and we already know which microphone was well, so we won't have that problem again, I hope.
It's the same mic.
Okay. And
nothing changed except the browser.
Oh, the browser did. Okay, so we know what the problem was. So, and maybe by next week he won't be so grayed out. He'll have learned something about his camera.
Yeah.
All right, folks. I hope everybody has a very blessed and pleasant weekend, and we will see you next week.
So long. Where's my